St. Aloysius College Autonomous has collaborated with Millerville University, USA for academic and research activities. And today, we are glad that Dr. Dan Kulmala, Assistant Vice President for International Programs and Global Engagement at Millersville University in Pennsylvania, has joined us. And he will be introducing Dr. Gill. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can proceed.
Hello, I'm Dr. Dan Kamala. I'm the Assistant Vice President for International Programs and Global Engagement at Millersville University. I visited St. Aloysius College fairly recently, and I'd like to thank the leadership at St. Aloysius College for setting up this event. And I'm very happy to see again Dr. Ronald Nazareth, who extended wonderful hospitality to me during my visit, where we spoke about interconnectedness and plans for a global learning network between our two institutions. I'm going to introduce Provost Gail Gasparich. She received her bachelor's degree in biology from the College of William and Mary, and she has a PhD in microbiology from Pennsylvania State University. Prior to coming to Millersville University, she was an associate dean for the Fisher College of Science and Mathematics at Towson University, and she was also the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at Salem State University. She'll discuss ways in which Millersville University is extending its global engagement efforts by creating these kinds of partnerships with universities like St. Aloysius College, and look forward to sharing some more of our ideas about how we can work together and collaborate together. So thank you very much, and I will hand this over to Provost Gail Gasparich for her presentation.
Hello, thank you, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm certainly honored by the invitation to speak to you today, and it is a great privilege to have this opportunity today. I was wondering if I am able to share my slides with you. Hopefully you can see this. Yay, excellent. Thank you. I wish I was there with you. It sounds like a great meeting. I'm sorry to have to do this remotely, but that is the way we have some global engagement in the world today. I want to talk a little bit about Millersville University, just to give you an idea of the type of institution that we are from the perspective of how we see ourselves as part of a global network. So I'll spend a little time talking about Millersville, a little bit about some of the differences that might exist between a degree in the US versus in India, and how we see ourselves, again, as part of a big network. I enjoyed listening to the welcoming comments, because a couple of their themes that came up in those comments, you'll hear again as I go through the presentation. So just to let you know, most people don't know where Millersville is, but Millersville is a short drive or train ride to New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. So we're on the East Coast of the United States. We're what's called a comprehensive regional university and part of the Pennsylvania state system of higher education. We were founded in 1854. And we started out as a normal school, which is basically a teacher's college. So where individuals who wanted to learn how to be a teacher would go in the 1850s. And then we have evolved into a university. We have about 7,000 students. mostly undergraduate students, and our graduate students are mostly at the master's level. And we have 3 doctoral programs in applied programs, so educational leadership, nursing, and social work. We offer over 100 degrees with different combinations of programming, and it's generally a 4-year degree with 120 credits required. Students take a major, so they have to focus in on something. That's about half of the credits that they take is in their major to become more expert in that. I'm sure many of you have gotten your degrees in the U.S. or know of that about it. They may select a minor, and then there is a core of general education courses that's also required, which is about a quarter of their degree, and I'll talk about that in a minute. This is a picture of President Daniel Wuba, and I show that to let you know that he considers internationalization a top priority for the institution. He was born in Ghana, and he understands how important it is for us to connect with universities around the world. And Dan has certainly made some initial efforts in creating that, establishing that global network that is so important. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So just some differences that might exist between degrees in our countries. We have a lot of flexibility with what students can do. They don't have to come in knowing what they want. Actually, we can help them. We call that an explorer. Initially, they come in, we give them a bunch of courses, help them to try to find what areas might be of interest to them. A lot of the basis for the liberal arts education is kind of founded in that general education track. I heard you talking about problem solving before this, and general education is really what employers are looking for when you ask them for the skills beyond the actual content. So they'll ask for things like oral and written communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, being able to work as a member of a team, being able to work independently, and all of those things are embedded in the general education program that we offer. We also have a wide range of co-curricular activities, including athletics, to try to create a holistic learning environment and keep students engaged while they're doing their studies. The average time to undergraduate degree is usually 4 years. Time to master's is usually 2. And doctoral degree is usually 5 years, but a master's is not required to get your doctoral degree. And I actually don't have a master's degree. There are 4 main academic colleges. And I'm not trying to go through this slide in detail, but I just wanted you to see the variety of programming that we have available for our students, and maybe highlight a few that might be of interest for collaboration down the road. But the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences includes art and design, which has an interactive and graphic design program, which is very popular with students. Our communications program with digital communications and cultural studies is also one that's very popular. And then music with entertainment technology and live audio production is also very popular with students. Again, kind of looking at a career focus with some wraparound skills that will support their development and continued learning. And I think that's something that we're going to come back to again and again in higher education is we can provide someone with the skills they need today, and maybe it's the state of the art today, but is it tomorrow or the day after they graduate? And we have to really create students' ability to be lifelong learners, to be able to hop in and out of education as they need it post-degree. It may not be a full master's. It may be a certificate. It may be something that they need to specialize in, some skill they need to learn. And that is a different way of looking at higher education, and not only the formal degree, but also this postgraduate skill development, enhancement, maybe retooling to do another career as time goes on. These are all things that we're looking at here and how to assist our students be successful. The College of Education and Human Services includes all of our teacher preparation programming, and it also has psychology, which has clinical psychology, which is a high demand field right now, and wellness and sports sciences and sports management and sport administration are high demand areas right now, and the School of Social Work, which is also in high demand. And then science and technology, we have a lot of programs that tend to focus on application. We don't have, say, engineering per se, but we have applied engineering, things like automation and robotics and construction management, just to name a few, that are more for those that are going to be actually, say, on-site, going to do some building, going to develop some automation process for a manufacturing plant. Those are the type of programs that we have in this particular College of Science and Technology. We have the common programs that you might think of: biology, chemistry, certainly computer science. We also have emergency management, which is not often found at this particular level of institution. And we also have a highly ranked meteorology program where we get students from actually all over the country to attend. And then business, we have the basic business programs, but cybersecurity and information technology tend to be one of the most highly sought after among our students moving forward. And then just some of the graduate programs that we have that are more applied, where we're looking at what can we do with different skills that students might have. So looking at climate science might be a mix between meteorology and emergency management. So what do you do if there's a big storm that comes, or if there's some natural disaster? Certainly higher levels of nursing in our country is now becoming more common as your primary care provider. And so they need to be highly trained. And then certainly a mix of education, advanced education, dealing with different subpopulations of students, particularly gifted education and special education are two high demand areas that combine a lot of skills. So what are some opportunities for collaboration? And I was listening before to, again, the introductory comments, and they were talking about barriers of cost, of access, and in some cases, visa. Having a timely processing of the visa to be able to come to the United States or to another country. I know you were talking about a case where someone was from the UK that couldn't get into India. We experienced that a lot here as well. Some of our students that are coming from a wide variety of different countries have the full intent to start their studies, but the visa process delays that. And I think we're in a time now post-COVID where, for example, I'm talking to you, and not having a visa should not mean that there is no collaboration possible, or that students can't start their studies or start studying under two institutions, or having a dual taught program. And I think that's kind of the way that we are looking at internationalization in a little bit broader text. Certainly, you can do traditional programs where the student spends 2 years at one institution, 2 years at another, or 1-2-1. But looking at all teaching modalities, maybe that's online, and maybe that's the most convenient, and that may be the most cost effective for students. Certainly hybrid. We have some programs where the students have online instruction, but they come for short periods of time, say during the summer, for intensive coursework and maybe some field work that's involved in their studies. But the bulk of the studies are done in their home country. I think there are opportunities for combining bachelor's and master's degree in an accelerated way, where students can use some of their advanced coursework as the undergraduate level to also count as their introductory coursework for their master's program. And I think that assists students in moving forward in their career path in a more timely manner. And I mentioned a little bit about certificates. There is a movement in the US right now where some students are looking for very short-term instructional and academic opportunities. And that may be something like learning how to program in a boot camp that lasts 6 months instead of a 4-year program. And when we talk to students who prefer to go that path, and they're very marketable after they learn some of these skills in a very short time, is their thought is that they're going to perhaps work for a while and then find out what else they have to learn, come back, and kind of like in a just-in-time educational approach, which is very different from how I went through my program. But it's basically, I need to learn what I need to learn, and then if I need more, I will come back. And we're kind of learning to adapt to that a little bit here as well. We also have a lot of adult learners that did not go in the normal traditional path right after they've completed high school. So now they're working adults, and they understand that they need to get perhaps some enhanced education to be able to move on. But they're also working. They have families. They don't want to come to campus 2 times a week during the middle of the day. That doesn't work with their schedule. So we're also adapting to that as well with some online asynchronous programs so that they can complete their degrees kind of on their own schedule. You know, in talking with Dan, there were some ideas we were just kind of thinking about. What are some opportunities when you look at programs at 2 different institutions, and how can they work together and provide synergy for the benefit of the student? So if you were thinking about, say, a civil engineering major from India, they might be able to do a minor or a dual degree or a certificate in construction management that would enhance their credentials when they go on site to a more actual applied project that they're working on. You could certainly see international business major, perhaps in a manufacturing business that might want to learn something about what goes on in the business that they're that they're working in, whether that's packaging or whether that's automation or things like that are possible combinations. A biology major may want to get some specialization in food science, which we don't have, and some other things that came up, mass communications and media arts, with an emphasis on global communication is going to be so critical in the future. And certainly English as a global language with study abroad opportunities to be able to study linguistics and provide opportunities to really hone skills. So just a little bit about what that global network might be. I think this was alluded to again in the introductory welcoming comments, and I think that the future of higher education is not going to be every institution having every degree or every opportunity for students, and how do we leverage all of our opportunities that we have for the benefit of our students, and make it so that students understand that that the future involves perhaps problem solving. And this was also mentioned at the global level. So certainly as a microbiologist, my organisms don't stop at a border. They can spread throughout the globe, which we've recently seen. And it takes a diverse group of individuals from diverse backgrounds to be able to solve some of these complex global problems. It certainly can't be one person in their lab or in their office trying to solve these problems alone. And the diversity of backgrounds from different countries and different perspectives is also key to making sure that those problems are solved with innovative and very clever solutions that, again, one person or even a group of people with very similar ways of thinking are not going to come up with. And so I've had the pleasure of having a career in science where I have collaborators all over the world. So I have my own personal global learning network, and it has done nothing but made my career and my academic life much richer for those connections. And I try to encourage students to think of going beyond their barriers. We have students, some of our students have never been out of the state of Pennsylvania. And so to try to get them to go and study abroad is so critical. And I think maybe making connections online or having opportunities to talk to students in other countries first might be a way to alleviate some fear of maybe going abroad into a place that they don't know or understand, but they should. I think global learning opportunities for faculty is immense, certainly research, teaching, professional developments, and for our students, not only their professional growth, but also their academic advancement. It's kind of critical. So we need to create these opportunities and moving forward. And everybody is a kind of a spoke in this giant wheel, or if you look at it from a data perspective, a node or a dot in a very integrated mesh of a network that's so critical for being able to move forward with higher education and kind of thinking about it in a different way, outside the boundaries of perhaps our institutions alone. So I don't want to go over my time, but I just wanted to give you my contact information and certainly Dan's contact information. And we are very excited about the possible opportunities that will come with working with members of your group and seeing how we can kind of create these global networks that benefit all of our students. So thank you again for the invitation to come speak. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Professor Gale, for joining us today and for briefing us about academic opportunities. Now we are heading towards the second session of the day on transformative pedagogies, navigating educational frontiers by Professor Suhas Pednekar. Professor has joined us online. I extend a warm welcome to Professor Pednekar on behalf of St. Aloysius College, Autonomous, Mangalore.
Good morning to everyone, and very happy to be part of this particular seminar. And the topic which is given to me, before I begin with the topic, and I know I have 30 minutes. We all know that we live in an era of changing conditions and rising expectations. Apart from this statement, I'll also make another statement that today we all are living in a very, apart from expectation, very disruptive era. The changes are happening so rapidly that whatever is important today may not be so tomorrow. Post-COVID pandemic situation, every field is affected, and at the same time, there are high level of expectations from everyone. Considering the higher education system, the many challenges are posed before teachers in the new normal. I'm using the word new normal here because it is a state to which an economy, society, etc., settles following a crisis, when this differs from the situation that prevailed prior to the state of the crisis. So there are a lot of expectations as far as the higher education system is concerned. I think the stakeholders which are more important and responsible for this change are the teachers. And we are also aware that innovation and technology is going to be the game changers in coming years. Any field, any sector, not necessarily only education. So with this background, the question arises that how we need to be innovative in every respect. How technology has taken over, we all know. But how innovative we need to be. And in this regard, I think many of you may be aware the three-box solution given by Vijay Govindrajan. And that is the manage the present, selectively forget the past. This is very important for me. How we need to improve and how we should not continue with the same thing and the same mistake probably we must have done in the past. So the time has come, we need to selectively forget that and create the future will be more relevant and will have greater sustainability. On this background, the topic which is given to me is the transformative pedagogies navigating educational frontiers. I got to know that there was one more presentation before that regarding the pedagogies, but since I have not attended that, I'm not sure how much is covered there. There could be a repetition, so pardon me if there is some repetition. We all know that the two main components of education are content and process. Content, which leads to knowledge, and process that leads to skills. So when we realize this, I think we need to understand the general capabilities to equip with skills. We all know that the general capabilities are literacy, numeracy, ICT capabilities, critical and creative thinking, personal and social capability, ethical understanding, and intercultural understanding. Talking about pedagogy, everyone knows it's derived from the Greek word. It is the approach to teaching, theory and practice of learning, and it influences and is influenced by the social, politics, and psychological development of learners. So the main objective of the pedagogy is to impart knowledge and skills. And in this regard, what is necessary to be done? Many of our teachers probably are using different pedagogies now, but I'll like to put before you what is the overall scenario at present globally and what we need to do. And when we talk about various pedagogical tools, we also understand there are limitations to us as teachers because the Indian education system, where at times we need to take care of masses. But whatever way that we can, I think the time has come to look at this and how we can move from instruction centric to student centric approach. So, in this regard, I think I'm very happy to just put before you one quote, and that was very important. If we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob our children of tomorrow. And this is the American philosopher. There is one more by our own. We are proud of him, Rabindranath Tagore, who said, "Don't limit a child to your own learning, for he was born in another time." So, on this background, let us, whatever limited time I have, let us try and understand what are transformative pedagogies. Redefine the educational paradigm, shifting from instructor centric to student centric, and prioritize critical thinking, engagement, and active participation. So, what triggers the new pedagogies? A demand for knowledge based society, helping students manage knowledge, how to find, analyze, evaluate, apply, and it constantly shifts and grows. There's a new student expectations with respect to the technology, a natural part of environment nowadays. Then expectations that technology be used whenever opportunities are appropriate to help them. And new technology, this is in fact a challenge for all of us, that how technology is also slowly getting into it. And we must thank that the technology got accelerated because of the pandemic situation we faced for more than almost 2 years. So the different pedagogies what we are using nowadays wherever possible. One is the problem. Just a minute, because there is some issue here, technological. Yeah. So the present students with real world issue, they can tap into online resources, use their previously taught knowledge, ask critical questions to brainstorm and present a solution. So unlike traditional learning, the problem-based learning, there's no single solution as such. And there are many examples. I've just given one example here. For example, the energy crisis, each team learns about fossil fuel, renewable energy, and alternative energy sources. So after being provided the real data, each group can create their own solution to the problem and present their ideas to local community members. There is another one, it's called the project-based learning, that's defining the problem in in terms of given constraints or challenges and generating multiple ideas to solve a given problem and prototyping potential solution and testing the developed solution products or services in a live or authentic setting. So this is effective in preparing students for complex and interdisciplinary issues. One example I can quote here is the environmental pollution. The student might be asked to research different types of pollution around, and this is in fact is a latest problem all over India we all are facing. So create a presentation about their findings and then design an action plan for reducing pollution in their community. This is the slide which is, I know it's too much matter on this, but I'm going to leave my presentation. So whenever you want, I think you can go through this just to differentiate between the problem-based learning and project-based learning. The next one is called the inquiry-based learning, the student-centered teaching method that encourages students to ask questions and investigate real-world problems. And the four types which I can define here, the structured inquiry approach, often used in science classes where students are given a problem to investigate and are taught how to use a scientific process to find a solution. The open-edge inquiry approach, often used in humanities classes, where students are asked to explore a topic in depth or debate different viewpoints. The problem-based inquiry approach, often used in mathematics and engineering classes, where students are asked to apply what they have learned and solve the problem. And the guided inquiry approach is teacher-led approach, where teacher act as a facilitator to inquiry-based learning. And many times the questions of inquiry are what, so what, now what, how, etc., etc. And inquiry-based learning is focused on student-driven research and exploration. And the project-based learning is focused on students working together to complete a real-world project. However, both approaches can include elements of inquiry and problem solving. The another one is called OGIL, that is the process-oriented guided inquiry learning. And this is largely used even in the Australian universities that I found. And that in fact involves making a small group, could be of 3 to 4 students, depending upon the strength of your class. And these teams are given certain activities, and they are asked to work on in 3 phases. One is called exploration. Students generate hypotheses, test their hypothesis, and develop an explanation of their observations. And all this, in fact, the teacher acts as a facilitator. The concept invention, students define or invent a new concept using the trends that emerge. And third phase is application, where students apply that newly discovered concept to new situations, thus deepening their understanding. This particular methodology was used many times in the chemistry classes, but now it is used in many STEM disciplines. And this, in fact, enables higher level thinking and problem solving. And that also gives that additional advantage to students how to work in a group, act as a leader, and even communication is one of the advantage they can receive in this particular type. Experiential learning, we all know that even the NEP 2020 emphasizes on experiential learning, and wherever possible, we have included that. So that gives a hands-on experience and emphasizes personal or practical experiences. And the experiential learning cycle involves the concrete experience stage, the reflective observation stage, the abstract conceptualization stage, the active experimentation stage. And this is how I think we have included internships, apprenticeships, and management trainings in our many courses and programs. This is the one which I think some of you must be using already, and this is also working very well. And this is, in fact, many of you must have applied during even the COVID situation, where we had to conduct all our lectures and our instructions online. So it redefines in class activities. Students encounter information before class, and that gives them opportunity to come prepared, sort of in a homework. And it's a time intensive, begin the specific periods or within period. And we upload our lectures or quizzes or whatever exercises. So many STEM courses upload recorded lectures explaining relevant principles and formulas and demonstrate how to solve some examples of the problems. And students can then complete the homework and with the assistance of peer, and can have discussions in the classroom. So non-STEM courses, one could flip lecture material that is fundamental. Flipping would improve students' comprehensions or concepts. An instructor can identify and correct misunderstanding during the class time. This is the one which is, in fact, in many ways is used nowadays in education. In fact, very recently, I visited some of the universities in USA, including one of the top business school called Walton School of Business. And that entire university is into gamification in education. How the video games can be used to make things simpler for students, and it has been found the student also get involved so much and take so much interest. So that has become a wonderful way of imparting knowledge to the students. So this approach motivates students by using video game, and of course this needs a lot of preparation. So it's not that teachers can take up something from elsewhere and do that. So you need to identify what sort of video games could be useful to explain your own concepts in the classroom, which sometimes students find it difficult to grasp. So universities integrate gamified elements to make learning more interactive and enjoyable. One simple example is the Duolingo app, which is available nowadays, and many are in fact using that even to learn various languages. And there are many ways this gamification can be used, and our whole teaching learning process could be made more interesting. There is some cultural competence in pedagogies, and recognizing the importance of diversity, cultural competence is woven into transformative pedagogy. And this approach ensures inclusivity, preparing students to thrive in a globally interconnected world. And this initiates worldwide and promote cultural sensitivity in educational practices, which is equally important. So the elements which contribute to new pedagogies, which are put here, the blended learning, collaborative approaches. We all know the importance of blended learning. This is probably is going to stay with us, and the future education will be more of blended or hybrid, where online as well as the physical form. And this is what I think the various elements which are depicted here. I don't read out again. And the three emerging pedagogical trends which we come across nowadays is a move to opening up learning and making it more accessible and flexible. And this is what is expected in NEP 2020. And the classroom with information delivered through a lecture is no longer the unique center of learning, changing instructional role and increase use of technology. So before I say thank you, I can only say that the challenges before us in many ways, and I can share some of my experiences before I close. Very recently, I've been to many universities in USA, especially, and I found out that the trend is changing so much. For example, I've been to Harvard University, where the way they're preparing themselves for even the hybrid mode of learning and the way they're using technology is something which one you can't think of. They have a beautiful screen, which is a semicircular wall in the classroom where the teacher stands before the podium, and every student is given a big size screen, and every screen with a separate microphone where each students can, communicate with teachers separately. And more importantly, that high level technology is used in such a way that those students who are attending the online lecture get a feel that as if they are in the classroom. And when the teacher approaches to the screen, that is the feeling the student get, and there is one-on-one interactions happening. And many MBA programs in Harvard University are delivered using this latest, I would say, the online classrooms design, especially. As I said, even some of the universities, they're using gamification in a bigger way. Some universities where they offer science and technology courses, the latest trend, which is this is something which I'd like to share with you, that they're offering is the concept of what is called as a flexi lab. What it means is they're slowly bringing classroom in the laboratory. So there is no separate classrooms or separate labs. So the students' lectures are conducted in the classroom where the instruments are around them. And while they're learning, they can see the instruments and they're given the hands-on experience immediately after that. So that gives an immediate application what they learn. And that makes a huge difference. And not only that, all the instruments are placed on the table which are movable for maximum, I would say, the utilization of the instrument. They don't belong to one particular subject or department. So that can be used by somebody else. So these are called nowadays, they call it the flexi lab. And importantly so, because all we know that the science and the technology subject are expected to be taught more in laboratories and less in the classrooms. So that is the real hands-on experience students get. Not only that, there's some more trend which I observe in some universities, not many, but some, and that is called two teachers and at the same time in the classroom, one from academics and other from industry. So whatever theoretical concept taught by the regular teacher, immediately the person from industry takes over and explains how this theory being used nowadays in industry. So that gives them real relevance, because many times some science teachers sitting there would agree with me that the experiments we asked our students to do in the laboratory for 3-4 hours or so many hours we spend during week or during year, the experiments have become outdated, and we continue asking doing the same thing, and we spend more time in writing in the journal. All things are become outdated. So how to bring relevance and make it sustainable, that is more important. There are some universities, offering co-op programs. Co-op program is half the time students spend in the university campus and half the time in industry working. And that gives that absolutely 100% job opportunities, either with the same industry or elsewhere. So there are many ways people are coming out with the different ideas. So what I believe as a teacher, that only the two things are going to make a very good impact in coming years. One, as we already in fact displayed in my slide, and that is technology, and another is innovation. We need to be innovative all the time, innovative in terms of designing curriculum, innovative in terms how to put it before the student, various, as I said, the pedagogical ways, in different ways. And another important aspect I feel is the assessment of students, which should be expected to be a continuous one with various innovations. And if you do it appropriately, I don't think there should be any issue of students not attending lectures. So that will become something different. We need to prepare ourselves using technology in meaningful way. Using only PPT in the classroom is not to be considered as the use of technology. It is much more and beyond that. And at the end, I can only say that the time has come where all of us as teachers to extend the limit of our possible by going beyond it into the impossible. We need to prepare ourselves not for the comfortable predictability of yesterday, but the realities of today and all unknown possibilities of tomorrow. We do not know. If someone asks me what is going to be the scenario in higher education after 10 years, it's difficult to say. So much would be the change that is happening. So, as teachers, we always feel that we need to prepare our students for the jobs which don't exist today. What it means is that we must have that foresight that what is it that would be important in after 5, 10, 15 years? Can I prepare our students for those challenges? And more than preparing them for jobs, can we spend more time to prepare them as entrepreneurs? In fact, our country needs more job, uh, uh, more than the job seekers, job creators. So there are several challenges. Many times what we do is try to follow certain practices done in the, or other used in foreign universities, but all of those may not be absolutely applicable to our environment and surrounding. But we need to derive something from them and try and apply what is important for us in the given scenario or the challenges before us. So I think I stop here, and I can only say that we need to be innovative. And the last message which I'd like to give to all is considering all the challenges before us, the implementation of NEP before us, and the awareness the students have now compared to probably what we were at their age during our time in schools or colleges. It's totally different. So we need to prepare ourselves to fulfill their desires and expectations. And therefore, I can only say as my last message to you all, and that is the average is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for taking us through this emerging pedagogical trend. And message is very clear that we need to change. And as you said, average is over, and we need to adapt ourselves to do the best. And your insights were truly inspiring. I think we need to take it further. And all of us who are present here will take this message very clearly and adapt ourselves and use it for the training our students and into the new pedagogical norms. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you so much for coming to this college sometime earlier, interacting with us, and we expect sometime in future also come and inspire us this side in the Aloysius College. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I will not take more time. Just 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, I will try to finish it off. Even though there are many slides there, I understand the time constraint which we are having in this session, because the earlier ones have taken a little more time. When it comes to, strategic planning for globally open pedagogy, this Rishii program was initiated 4 years ago. There are two things which we have to observe, because one is most of those institutions which are added under Rishii program in India are universities. We are the one of the colleges. There is another college from Bangalore, one of the colleges to have this. Since we are the college, we had certain disadvantages also in this program, because certain things which were directed by them, which we were not able to implement because of the restrictions we have, because we cannot implement the things on our own, because we are under, even the autonomous, under the affiliation system. Secondly, the problem which we faced under this Rishii program is the COVID came in between. Therefore, almost 1.5 to 2 years, we were not able to implement certain things which we were supposed to do under the Rishii program. So this is where we generally look at what we call it internationalization of higher education. Earlier it was considered to be a privilege, but today it is the priority. That's because without that you will be nowhere, because you also have to create a space in the changing scenario because of the globalization which we see here, and also the NEP which comes here, St. Aloysius College. I'm not touching upon that. What are the initiatives that are taken by the college? I'm not going to touch upon these things because these will become repetitions. There are some significant areas also we have identified here, especially the topics which we could take up during this Rishii program and all. Lot of things which you can see there, especially some of the new topics which could be taken up for our students, and also students from international level for their participation here. Then faculty exchange program and international fellowship for the staff, alumni engagement in international level. So these are certain issues which were taken up. Now I'll come to the main topic here for the strategic planning. Why it is? The reason I already told you, that there is rapid globalization and we cannot remain average. That is the last sentence which Pednekar was speaking about. We cannot remain average, and therefore this is one area where we have to be, we have to go along with the global trend. Second thing, what we see here is technological advancement which is happening, and that is more important there, because technology is taking over many things and we remain still in the old age. Naturally, that may not help us in the future. For the time being, we may do well, but there may not be any future for us. So that's why we are looking for this strategic planning for internationalization of a curriculum. Okay. Some of the components which we see here in the internationalization of curriculum is curriculum review and integration. This is one of the important component, very essential for us, how to review our curriculum. Now we think that whatever we have prepared is the best one, but then whether it has been analyzed, whether it has been scrutinized by others, what is this particular curriculum is seen in the international level. For example, I'll give my example here, because when I was asked to take a paper in world history for the Cortland University, I was little bit shocked to see the type of curriculum they prepare. I took 15 days to prepare a curriculum. Normally here we do it within 1 or 2 hours, but then I took 15 days. There is a standard to prepare a curriculum, and also you must analyze before preparing the curriculum. You must read entire portion, and you will have to summarize in such a way that within that stipulated period you are going to finish it off. For example, a particular topic I am going to take up this particular day, and that date I have to mention, and I have to finish that topic on that particular day. I cannot extend that. I cannot extend it. So on this particular date, so that you have so many days you are going to get in the entire semester, All these dates you have to mention, and you have to say that this particular day I'm taking up this. And this is where I'm going to discuss these issues. And what exactly is my, this is how I have to prepare and post it for the students. Otherwise they'll ask me, where is this? You have not posted it. And so there are questions. Maybe in preparing this, syllabus also, we also see how the international level looks at the things. In Indian context, we do not give priorities to gender. But then look at the syllabus which they have prepared. It's gender neutral. Especially when it comes to a subject like me, history, we always say man lived like this. But that cannot be spoken in the international level. It's human beings. That's one example I'm giving. So it's all that sorts of things which we will have to very carefully prepare, and the review of the curriculums to be done in that level, how this international level it has been prepared, and how we should also go along with that. The second thing is technology integration. We have a platform, yes. During the COVID time, we also said we also have online platform St. Aloysius College developed on its own. But then whether this platform is very user-friendly for the staff and the students, to what extent it has, it has become day-to-day affair. Only we used it during, COVID time when there was no other option. But did we continue that? When we look at other, universities and all at international level, even after COVID, they are continuing with that. And still they are continued, and new things are added in that. And because of that, Rosvira knows it very well, because we found it little difficult to, get into that field and, familiarize those things in the, at the international level with those, platforms which they have created for the students. The subjects, the way in which you are going to take the classes, the way in which you are going to assess your student. All these things are now happening in the, in the internet, in that same platform, which we also have to, get into that, and maybe that step we will have to do in the future. Multilingual education, this is another concern. English is one of the language which is always needed, and majority, most of the people who, are students are using this language, but at the same time there are other languages where we also have to give a lot of concern. Maybe sometimes at international level they may come to India to learn some of the Indian languages or to learn some Asian languages. Whether we are comfortable in that to give those languages to their standard, these are the areas which we have to see. Global faculty development. Maybe this is an area where we faculty ourselves have to be trained in that. There should be some awareness among the faculty. Of course, we have taken the steps. Some of us have gone to, gone abroad and seen the, way in which the faculty function there. That's entirely different. Entirely different. The way in which you function or way in which you operate in an university atmosphere may not be same what we have here. A lot of stress we have here. Lot of things to do simultaneously, right? But those things are not. Those things are not given to teachers, where when you are academically, given certain things, you are concentrating only on that. Okay? Other things will not come here. Your, administration, academics, and all these things, sometimes you mix up everywhere, and it will lead nowhere. That is something happens to us. Maybe these are the areas where the faculty to be trained, what is your priority? And that priority to be, made it very clear to a faculty, and where he and she should, excel in that, so that you can compete at the international level. Okay. So these are major things. And other one is cultural competency initiative. This, is another area where, we have to promote, cultural understanding and global citizenship to our students. And therefore, what we call it, we organize like events, seminars. These are the things when one has to organize immediate. For example, I'll give you something which is happening in the world, immediately taken up by the university. When we were there, the war took place there in the Middle East. Immediately, almost every university in America had taken up that issue. Where America stands, that's a different issue. Okay? That's a different issue. But every university has taken up that issue, and how we are affected by this. What is the situation? Somewhere for, somewhere against, but there is a debate. There is a debate going on, and it's still going on in the universities in America, and we were also part of that. We went there, attended these things, and we heard the opinions of different people. What's happening around us? Even though it is happening in in Asia, we Indians are very comfortable. We have not done anything. So far, we have not done anything. Maybe these are the types of issues, especially when it comes to, global warming, recent issues which are coming up. We know that issues which are taken up by the newspapers, global warming, then, greenery, maintenance of greenery. They are the one, initially. They say, oh, you are from India. So Rosevere was asked to give a lecture on that immediately. So this is how India looks at these environmental issues. What are the things? How women are participating in these environmental issues. Maybe we in Indian context, we don't do such things, but then they take up the issues immediately, and so that they could get what's happening around the world, and that's how they exchange through the seminars and through different programs that they do it. Okay. Global collaboration and partnership is another component which we have to see here. That is seeking partnership with the renowned international universities and institutions for student exchange program, joint research initiative, and collaborative projects. These are the things which we have initiated but not done much. We have not done much. Under the Rishii program, we have done many things related to, a few staff are selected and sent, some students have gone abroad, but then we have certain, I said limitations. As a college, we have limitations. Because when we send some of our students abroad, the credits they earn there, we cannot add it here, because our university will not allow us to do that. University will not permit us to do that. So we will have to find out some alternatives. Maybe once we become university, these global collaborations could be done easily by us, so that more and more students could be, sent over. But then at the same time, you also see that, our students who are here, maybe they are competent to go abroad and study. There are some, constraint for them, especially when it comes to financial part of it. Financial part of it, it's not that easy. For example, for a, semester program in Cortland, it costs about $12,000 with the meal plan. Okay, for a semester, it comes around 10 lakhs. Comes around 10 lakhs per semester. That is not possible for our students, because our students, that 10 lakhs, they may study from first standard to, up to their, post-graduation. They may study that. Okay. So one can also see that limitations. In such a cases, if there is a funding, if there is certain, scholarships which are available for our students, this could be done. So international internship and experimental learning, these are other areas. I'm going a little fast. Global awareness campaign. Awareness campaigns are very important for us, for our students, about this type of programs which are happening. And assessment and accreditation also, not going after these things, but these things are also important when you publish certain things. What you are doing here, most of the things which we do in the college are not in the website. Whereas, for example, in Cortland, about St. Aloysius College, that is there in their website. They say that St. Aloysius College offers certain programs for our students. You can choose these programs. These are the things which are, so they choose it. They choose. Sometimes we do not know what our programs are, we are offering there for them. We ourselves do not know. because two students are coming. One is taking Kannada, the second one is yoga, and the third one is on human rights. See, these are the programs. We don't show it in our website here, but it's shown there in their website. So such things, I think, to be, done, and very, we must be transparent in these things, even in projecting certain things in the website, so that this benchmark could be seen by others. About the implementation part, we all know. And coming to conclusion, so we have to go for this, global open pedagogy. That is a forward-looking initiative, and that may keep the college as a leader in the transformative education experience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that informative session. I request Dr. Ronald Nazrat, coordinator of Rishii project, to give a small memento to Dr. Dennis Fernandez as a token of gratitude. Into the last session of the day by Dr. Alwyn Dessa, Registrar of a college, on the topic Best Practices in Internationalization of Curriculum. Over to you, sir.
Each and every one of you, I'm sure you are still alert and alive and breathing. Okay, what is next? I don't know. So after that interesting session by Dr. Dennis Fernandez, who had hands-on experience of this particular project, most of his data and other things should have been authenticated by his experience. So I have good news I'll give you first. I have only 8 slides. But there is possibility that with the 8 slides, the people have spoken for about 3 hours also. But here I would like to tell you that I would like to take only 10 minutes. And I am strictly instructed by the coordinator that there will be a long and jarring bell at the end of the 10th minute. So I'll go fast. The topic that is given to me is best practices in internationalization of curriculum of higher education. This is one of the important factors because to promote internationalization, we need to have a methodology. You have to have objectives like any research project. You should have objectives followed by methodology, which includes strategies, and among the strategies will be the best practices. I am only referring to a few generally accepted and practicable strategies and best practices that have been promoted by this particular project. I have taken it from other projects also of internationalization, and most of our staff know some of the best practices and strategies that you have adopted to put in this particular project. So I just want to give the definition, and just for you, this is self-learning. So you just read that sentence, and I have written some words in red color. They do not mean that they are dangerous words. They are normal words, but I think the emphasis on those words have to be important. So internationalization is the intentional or conscious process of integrating an international, intercultural, or global dimension into the purpose, functions, and delivery systems of higher education in order to enhance the quality of education and research for all students and staff to make a meaningful contribution to the society. Students take precedence over the staff. Basically, I think the target or the focus is on students, and the teachers also join this entire process. Among students need to discuss. They need to focus on not just our local issues. Along with the local issues, we need to focus more on global issues and discuss and critically think about it. Preparing students for a global world, naturally, I need not have to explain that. We are not the global competencies and skills and what the international society or community expects from an educated so-called person should be our focus. Enhanced international cooperation and capacity building. I would like to highlight capacity building. I am very sure that we have conducted several capacity building initiatives in terms of curriculum as well as research in our college as a part of this particular project, Rishii project. So capacity building is nothing but spreading awareness, more into research, pedagogical practices, online learning, and so many new things that have been happening for years together abroad. We are getting into it now, and capacity building of our staff and students to engage in international kind of curriculum should be the focus of this. So basically this is enhancing DEI, that is diversity, equity and inclusion. Now we have in our institutions diversity, but more than that, when you involve overseas universities and students and curriculum and programs, etc., naturally this will become more broad-based and there will be more inclusion than the normal everyday kind of diversity, equity and inclusion that we practice in our institutions. International networking and collaboration, naturally more and more institutions from abroad as well as all of us who have come here, at least 5 to 6 colleges and institutions and universities within our vicinity can be a part of this program, and mutually beneficial memoranda of understanding could be established. Not directly go into internationalization, but we colleges who constantly come to these programs possibly also can think of some sort of MOUs which is related to this kind of collaborations or internationalization. Innovation and competitiveness, I think Professor, the Vice Chancellor, the Chief Guest actually mentioned this. Innovation should be there at the same time. We should be on par, competing with global competencies as well as standards of, possibly we need to go to all the QS and other accreditations beyond NRF and NAC and so many other accreditations that we have. We have to be ready, getting ready slowly. And then improve quality in all dimensions of higher education institution. Methodology, what are the strategies that we have been using? Awareness on cultural diversity. All of us come from different cultures. When they come from here, there are a lot of cultural shocks which Dennis sir must have experienced, whether he has shared or not. Madam Rosevira also went there, and Shalini Ayappa madam and the others have visited those places. Possibly they had a lot of cultural shocks and slowly get used to it. Each one of us have some sort of an ethnic background, each one of the groups within group, cultural groups within. So each one of us should be able to understand the indigenous characteristics of all people who are the partners and students. And this is most important. We have to make our curriculum local. People speak about think global and act local. Yeah, that is a big watchword these days. But possibly, I think this is one of the very important components of this particular project. More reflection on the context which we come from, the students come from, and then the geopolitics of the countries and the communities that they come from. We should be aware of all that before we start any kind of engaging kind of academic partnership. We should be able to get into this. That actually informs our learning. If you, otherwise it becomes just like any other rote learning, book, notes and the others, but I think more discussions and engagement should take place. Dialogues have to take place when it comes this. We had one scholar from Afghanistan who is working under me for his research in English department. Possibly when he works an author, let us say on an author like Khalid Hussaini or the others, naturally we should need to engage in the geopolitics that is taking place, the interconnectedness, the political or other dynamics that are taking place between countries. This is very important to begin with an engagement of this sort. And the next one is the best one for all of you who are going in future to attempt this and enlarge your sphere of influence in the field of internationalization through our collaboration or independently through your institutions. Faculty and student exchange activities have been vibrant in our college, I think already data has been given to you. Catholic University of Valencia, staff and student exchange program has taken place. SUNY Scotland staff exchange and student exchange has taken place. We have visited Malaysian University. We have visited also some great institutions in Nepal and the others. So students have been moving in and out of India and other countries. So the entire mechanism of the college is promoting internationalization. Irrespective of the financial commitments and the others, students, staff, as well as the management is promoting this international idea of internationalization. So faculty student exchange activities have to be the core of our internationalization program. Some of us have already said one of the best practices that we have actually put in place is some of the departments, PG as well as UG, have one external or overseas member as a BOS member in our autonomous college. So wherever they have contacts like this in their specific areas, we have a person who is known, sometimes our own alumnus who is working abroad and has done a great job, have been involved or roped into the BOSs so that we can enhance the quality of our and internationalize our curriculum. E-learning opportunities, naturally, I have already mentioned to you. E-learning facilities, because we were not familiar with e-learning. There they have been used to it for such a long time. So this is one of the things that you can collaborate with. Aligning national internal policies. Father Rector as well as our chief guest mentioned to you that there are a lot of concerns and issues about policies like visa, getting visa, and so many other kind of financial transfer of finances, etc. So those things have to be also streamlined. Okay. Anyway, this is the last one, is it? No, let's wait. Oh, there are only 3 more slides, yeah? No, wait. Okay, best practices should be when you start and when we started also. Mapping the higher education institution in terms of the type of institution, what kind of institution it is, location, research-focused or teaching-focused institution, and the balance between research and teaching part of it. Institutional vision and mission of internationalization, we have already created it. We slowly have to develop a policy of internationalization. So significance, impact of internationalization, short-term and long-term, has to be assessed from time to time. And then the formal policy of internationalization has to be put in place. Some of the existing best practices are student mobility, we have been doing it. Faculty exchange program, partnership MOUs, mutually beneficial, dual or joint degrees. Dual are independent 2 degrees from 2 institutions. Joint degrees are both the institutions together award the degrees. Capacity building activities have been happening regularly. This is very important, awareness and capacity building of staff and students. Short-term exposure programs, credit transfer facility. SUNY Scotland has accepted formally our credits into their credit transfer system. Those 2 students who are coming in January will be earning 15 credits each, which will be actually added to their SUNY Scotland credits. Employability is one of the important things. Networking, and actually it adds public image, adds to the public image. And generation of funds, I think we have referred to it, but there is a big challenge about this generation. We have to think innovative methods by which you can generate funds. So what drives this internationalization? So there should be business and industry demand here in our country or the external country. Overseas higher education prospects. How many students will be engaging in higher education in those partner universities? External ones. Government policies I have already mentioned, domestic as well as external, whether they match or they clash. Is there a clash of interest in this? National and international rankings. We have our own national rankings. Then international rankings also come into the picture. Slowly we have to move into it. And there is societal expectation. All stakeholders have expectation on this particular project. That also has to be assessed. and then regular external internal evaluation of the impact of internationalization has to be done. I think that would be one of the best practices that you can actually implement. With these few words, I will go to the last. Yeah, thank you.
So I'm here to thank you all. And, the purpose of this national dissemination event as such, and what exactly is the way in which you went about. First of all, let me thank all the panelists as well as the speakers for sticking on to their time and then giving us the best. Morning, we had a little bit delay in the schedule. And then we were not sure that whether we can wind up, because in the afternoon there are some examination duty and we are supposed to wind up. Our aim was to finish before 1 o'clock, and I'll take 2-3 minutes. With that, we finish my half-an-hour session, which I'm supposed to take. Generally, we are known for these seminars, workshop, conferences. What is National Dissemination event is all about? We have done certain progress in this particular project, and we are writing a strategic plan for another 5 years. And when we have that 3 to 5 years, we want all of you to be collaborators. Some colleges which we are collaborating continuously, and their representatives are there here, and we have written some plan. And this plan is, Rishii is not a destination, it is a journey. And journey which you have started, and all of you to be part of it. Some experience which I shared, similar experience we want to have, and this collaborative effort we want to continue further. So quickly let me tell you what we have done in the recent past with respect to this, quickly, one by one slide. So keeping the Jesuit philosophy, having the 4 pillars, knowledge, skill, value, and attitude, we went ahead for this particular, because this purpose of this Rishii aligns very well for this 4 pillars of our studies. Therefore, we had series of training program. This scheme is to create awareness and train ourselves. All the faculty members, we trained ourselves, maybe formally, maybe sometime we call it Rishii, sometime we call it induction program, sometimes the programs which in the department we conduct. Everywhere we got ourselves trained for the continuously, and we had the series of program. But to be specific with respect to Rishii, these are the international collaboration, one of the program with the collaborate like Madam was telling with the Santa Clara University. This is another program which is a COIL program. With this, we had 4 strategic lines. One is reimagining the internationalization. We had a workshop. Then we went ahead with the strategic line 2. Where are the line 2 workshop, and Dr. Sharbila Baskarnes, she was there, resource person here, and I'm so happy that she is there with us, and I request you to come forward and receive a memento from our registrar. She was the trainer for us in that program, that is the curriculum internationalization. We all got trained from her guidance. Madam, please. Then we had strategy line 3 and line 4. These are the 4 places where we got ourselves trained. And as of now, we have written the strategic plan. Is there? And the strategic plan which you have written with respect to the 8 criteria. One is institutional international strategy. Second one is the international officers, academic services, and international mobility, how to modernization of learning and teaching, and synergies with respect to the territorial context, then the visibility, then sustainability. In every area, including the financial management, we have written a plan, and most of the plans are collaborating with our neighboring institute, and the series of activities we have listed. And we will be very happy all our collaborating institute become a part of this journey of Rishii so that we can continue. This strategic plan which you have had, we will share sometime. Just to glance what exactly these are, this one. And every place we have listed activities. And let us not collaborate together, have these activities so that we can fulfill the purpose of this Rishii. And why exactly we did this quickly is the mandate says that we are in Delhi, as the principal said, from 7th to 9th to give the report what exactly has happened. Before that, it is a requirement, mandate for us in the institution as well as the neighboring institutions around. We need to tell what exactly we have done and how exactly everyone became part of this success story. And this is the one, if you quickly go through, there are 100 pages listed in 7 criteria. You can see every place we have listed the activities. And these activities, we hope that the partner institutes of ours will be a part of it. We will be very happy to host it in our institute. These activities, maybe the visibility, maybe the sustainability, maybe with respect to mobility. And we will be very happy to come to your institute where you host similar events. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful journey. And we hope that with the purpose, that mandate which is given, we can fulfill throughout. Thank you so much.